Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the November 23rd meeting of the Finance Committee. I call this meeting to order. All members of the Finance Committee are present. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
So move.
I need a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, I need a motion to approve the minutes from the September 28th Finance Committee meeting.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
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 4-0, thank you. First up is ESSER funding retention bonus payment for all employees. Ms. McLam.
Good morning, Finance
Morning.
Committee. So what you'll see in your packet is a bonus structure that we've put together to help with some retention of our employees. As you all know, we've struggled in many areas to find staff. Staff have been working really hard during COVID. So this has been put together as a payment to be paid out in February. It includes it should be every category of employee that we have, because we all know we've got some retention that we need to pull in all categories. Some of the things that I will point out in this that have not been traditionally part of any other payment of retention or bonuses in the past is our subs, our daily and long-term subs, including bus and school nutrition. While we know they're not employees, but we want to recognize this group for the gap they filled in many of our classrooms due to COVID absences, quarantines, and et cetera for many of our teachers. So we're making this one-time exception to include them based on the number of days that they have subbed in a classroom as of the end of, before we go out for break. Now, you'll see that the criteria for this is that if they're employed as of November 15th, and remain an active employee as of January 14th. January 14th is the end of our first semester. So these payments would be paid out on the February check. In talking with many of the districts around us, that's very similar. Several are making payments currently. And to make this truly a retention payment, we're ensuring that staff complete the first semester and make those payments at that time. One of the other things that I will mention is transportation and school nutrition. They currently have a retention bonus structure that they pay out twice a year. And to help manage the difference in some of those dollar amounts, we have also included them with appropriate funding dollars based on the eligibility that they currently have for their current bonus structure.
So
on the second, I'm sorry.
So basically, it makes them whole as the full-time and part-time employees.
Yes.
So from their retention bonus that they have, and this additional money makes them to the 2,000 or 1,000.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
On the second page, which is something we have not always traditionally done, you will see a list of categorical and or specific position titles. We have a lot of positions in this district and a lot of different titles. So we've structured this to where we've got some broad categories so we don't have to list out every specific employee title, but it is intended to make sure that we capture all employees. So at the bottom, you'll see the estimated proposed cost to this is a little over $12 million. Which is, definitely something we have that's available and has been approved in our ESSER funding application. Do you all have any questions?
How do we compare to surrounding counties?
I'm sorry?
So some other surrounding county schools are doing the same thing, retention bonuses.
Right, they are all doing something similar. A lot of them have split them and might be doing $12.50 in, at the end of this semester and $12.50 at the next semester, or they may be doing, $1,000. They might be, some of them have just, it varied across the, especially the Big 12 and across the state. So everyone's doing something very similar, but I feel that this is a much stronger retention payment than some of the others are doing.
And Ms. Shauna.
Mhm.
Oh, go ahead, Madam Chair. You can
I
finish.
said thank you. Go ahead.
Oh, Ms. Shauna, specifically under administrative personnel, who is considered district leadership?
So that's going to be all your directors. That will include cabinet, as well as any central, like a lot of our central office district leaders.
I just wanted to make sure.
It's top, down, down, up, every employee of the county.
No, just that particular verbiage hadn't been used before, district leadership.
Okay.
I
I
wanted-
John, I know last
Because I
year
couldn't
we offered,
list it. That's one of those that has so many different categories that we're able to do
I
that.
got you now. I'm good. I just
John,
wanted
our
to make-
last bonus, we got some help from the county. Have we had any discussion with them as far as funding this?
No.
This is ESSER funds.
This
So
is
that-
our,
Yeah.
this is our federal ESSER dollars. It was a lot of the language that was written into the COVID relief money was intended to help with some of the retention in many districts. So it was available for us to use for this purpose.
One of the documents that's on Board Doc shows you how much ESSER funds and federal funding and state funding from the beginning of COVID. And you'll see that we, as of October 31, we still have 73% of the funding that we got. So, but this will go a long way for our employees because we appreciate what they've been doing every day. I know that since March of 2020, it's been difficult. So I'm hoping this will help. We're doing a good job keeping the employees that we have, and we need to do something to help that. Anything else?
I just add, I
I
think the other,
agree.
Done.
sorry, I was just going to add, I think the other part of this, just to forecast ahead, I'd love to see next fall, maybe another retention payment for employees who decide to come back. I think that's going to be another big piece. This is kind of saying, thank you for being loyal and sticking with us during the first semester. So just wanted to give you all a heads up. We are looking at possibly proposing something for next September or August, and we'll come back to the finance committee for approval and the board for that later on.
Thank you. Mr. Morial.
Yeah, so my question, Shauna, could you just reiterate again for the subs? Is it prorated for the hours worked?
So we base the sub payment on the number of days that they have subbed to be equitable. So the more days you've subbed, that
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to send to the full board the retention bonus payment for all employees. And again, they would be paid on February 25th. If you've been employed as of November 15th and you remain as an employee through January 14th.
So moved.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Shauna. Next up is school nutrition services retention.
So I mentioned some of these are going to kind of overlap or be a little out of order, I guess, because of how all the things that we have going on this month in our finance committee. But the school nutrition department applied for, there were ESSER funds available across the state for school nutrition directors and departments at districts to apply for funds to do retention payments. So what school nutrition did is they applied for those funds and we were awarded that money. It was $292,000. They have structured, which you will see in your packet, a plan similar to what we are currently using in transportation. Transportation does a weekly payment based on attendance for retention purposes, and it has worked very well for them. So we are mirroring that same program for school nutrition as far as these funds can go. Most likely, this will only last for this school year, but we want to get your approval to use that same structure to do this, to implement this program for school nutrition.
So
Quick
there
question.
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Will it go back to the beginning of the school year or start as date of approval?
It does have the provisions in the ESSER funding. Even though we just received it, it can go and be retro paid for the school for the full school year. So they would get a December payment based on that factor.
Thank you.
They are included in the differential between, okay, that's what I thought. They're underneath, it's transportation and school nutrition. Okay.
Right. The maximum amount, just for perspective, the maximum amount for school nutrition will be $975 for the school year. And the maximum amount for transportation was like $1,900. So that's why you see those differences in those dollar amounts, trying to help offset and make up some of that, those difference in potential.
Great, thank you. This is awesome. So if we don't have any more questions, I'll take a motion to send the school nutrition services retention attendance program proposal to the full board.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. After school program, same thing.
Well, so after school, as you all know, we had to suspend that program for a while. So they are having some of the same challenges that other departments are for recruiting purposes. This is a recruitment tool that transportation and other departments are currently using to incentivize some of our current employees to bring in new employees. We find that it's good to have people who work for the district encourage others to work for the district and rewarding that. So we would like to implement this for them as well.
That's separate from the retention bonus program,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
This is to bring people in. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that looks great. $200 is what they would get. Okay.
And the employee would have to work based on different, like they would have to be employed for 60 days and, you know, consistently be at work and those kind of things. So, yeah.
Okay, great. No other questions. I'll take a motion to send the after-school local recruitment bonus program proposal to the full board.
As a former Marine recruiter, I so move.
Thanks.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. 4-0. Next up is the local supplement increases. Yay.
Okay, so in your packet, you have a memo requesting that we utilize some unassigned fund balance to fund the FY22 supplement increases for our teachers, school nurses, psychologists, and social workers. As you all know, we were unable to fully fund that this year based on the funding we received from the county. It would only allow us to implement those increases as of January. So now that we have a better idea and we've gone through our audit, you all will have a presentation of the audit, but there is available funds for a one-time payment to make up that difference to get us from August to December with those categories. And we would like to request that you all assign that fund balance for us to make those payments.
So supplements are recurring year over year, correct? So the county, when they approved the budget and they only gave us half of the money to do the supplement increase for this year, they said that they would fund the rest next year. So that's why we're using the words one-time expenditure. So in next year's budget will be the whole amount to fund the local supplement increase. That's awesome. And
we are prepared to make these payments on the December paycheck if you all approve this.
Okay, and it was $1,000 per classroom teacher in the supplement.
The annual increase was a flat $1,000 for teachers. So that would mean the teachers' supplement increase on a monthly basis will increase $100. They would get a retro payment in December to catch up August through December. And then it would be that $100 moving forward. The social workers, psychologists, and nurses, they were getting a flat differential. And so placing them on a schedule based on their education, years of experience, et cetera, will vary in their dollar amounts, but will definitely be a warranted increase that you all have approved as part of the local budget.
Okay, so the classroom teachers will get the supplement in their December pay for the first 6 months of school. Okay, and then five, and then that's right, they're 5 months to 10 months. And then they'll get it on a monthly thing. Okay.
After moving forward, yes.
Okay. Where the retention bonuses are paid in February because they have to be employed as of January 14th. So that's a different thing. Okay. So the last time teachers got an increase in local supplement was 2017. So this is awesome that we can fully fund it and go forward with that. So that would be great. And the last time the nurses, school psychologists, and social workers got local increase was back in 2012. So this is much needed. So I appreciate that. So that category will get the same 5 months in December as well as the teachers.
Yes.
Okay. Anyone have any questions about that? I'm really excited that we got to be able to give them the whole amount this year. So thank you for that. Anybody else? If not, I will take a motion to send to the full board the local supplements increases.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next up is the sole source purchase Too Good for Drugs and Violence. It's $19,000 that they're asking for this program, but it has to come to us because it's sole source.
That's correct. This is part of our school climate grant, the Legends grant. We'll be funding this.
And the money comes from the grant. Okay. Anybody have any questions on that one? No? If not, I'll take a motion to send it to the full board.
So move.
Thank
Second.
you. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. 4-0. Okay, next is information. Shauna, Mrs. McLam for fiscal 22 state budget update. Yay, we have a budget. Woo, state budget. Woohoo!
Yes, that's great.
Awesome. Yay,
So now-
we're super excited. Thank you.
Now it's time to
Our
unpack it all.
I
There's a
know,
lot
thanks
in
to
this
our
budget.
legislators. Yes, awesome. I know, unpacking it for you has got to be difficult.
Yes. So there are multiple layers to this. There are many bonuses in this budget. There are many percent increases. There's step increases for teachers and other instructional support staff. On average, most of our instructional staff are probably going to get 2,000, 2,500s, once it's all said and done. But I believe there's going to be some stagger to some of this. None of this will take place in December. I've got a meeting today with DPI for them to give us a little more guidance, tell us when we'll get some of this funding so that we can implement. It looks like many of these may be in January. I don't know that all of the payments will be made in January, but they're working through because we're so far into the school year. How do you implement so many changes that impact the full school year and other budgets? So we're getting guidance about retirement rate changes and hospital rate changes, and how do we do all that when they want those things on a monthly basis. So there is a lot of moving parts to this, and I will keep you all updated as I get information and as we can communicate all the details. But it's subject to, they're going to have to give us a grid of some sort. There's going to be an FAQ so that we can all work through all the different components of this. They put a lot of things back. We do have an ADM hold harmless this year, which we were all very thankful for.
Very thankful.
Because we're so far into the school year, had they not held districts harmless on their ADM, it would have been a challenge for many districts who, and I think every district across the state is still down. They may be up from this year, which we are up from the enrollment we had last year, but we have not quite hit our projections. So we're still down the based on projected number of students. So that's probably not going to happen again. So I feel like by next year, we're all hopeful that everything will kind of normalize back to where we were pre-COVID, and it won't be as much of an issue.
So some of there's a bunch of increases in salary, and there are supplements for teachers and supplements for other things. Is there any deadline that we have to pay that? Is it going to be in February? Is it going to be in January? Or do you have any idea yet? I know you're just.
That's some of what the questions we asked them last week when we met is, okay, so what are the deadlines on these? What's the turnaround time? There was a funding source, since we are talking about teacher supplements, there was some funding for recurring dollars to give our teachers an additional $490 in their local supplement. So along with all of that, and what we're doing locally, that's a significant change for them. They have told us on steps and any salary adjustments, there were a lot of different changes that they made on the schedules, on the state salary schedules for teachers and other instructional support, that's still held. Like, they don't have those schedules ready. They don't, like, we're not making those adjustments until we have clarification that we can do that. So again, some of it is very potentially could be in January. I would say some of the percent increases for our non-certified, there were some provisions in there to increase minimum pays, either 2.5% or $13 this year, and then 2.5% or $15 minimum next year. So we'll be bringing back some proposals to you based on some of the things we've done locally already, for some of the additional categories that we need to address.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions? We're going to have to talk about it probably more next in January.
Yeah, hopefully by our next meeting, we'll have more, I should have more information.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, quick. Yeah, I have a question. Shauna, how long before, after you talk to DPI and your team, that you might can just kind of give us like a cheat sheet, if you will, of some or forecasts of what you're kind of looking to do, just so that we can kind of have a little purview of how you're seeing things, just something that we can begin to, it can even be kind of like a working document that you can kind of give us with all the things that may be coming to us, the different allocations and, steps towards full implementation or something of that nature. I think that would help. I know it would help me kind of stay with you in your flow of doing things.
Once the school business office at DPI shares some of the grids and FAQs, I'll be glad to share some of that same and break down and maybe just condense some of the things that are really the most high level, so that you all kind of stay on with some of the timelines. So I'd be glad to do that as soon as they share it with us. It's a high expectation when they're not included in many of the conversations at the legislative level. And then when all of it happens, everybody's like, what about this? What about this? What about this? So I know they're working diligently to try to get us all this information. It's over 600 pages of documents, and there are things just layered in there in different categories. So I'll be glad to share that once I have it.
Okay.
I appreciate it, because
Thank you very much.
we get questions, and at least I will have just the guide to go by.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, next up is COVID relief funding update.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. So I have changed the structure of how I'm presenting you all this information. As you all know, every month there's more and more. They're breaking a lot of the COVID funds down at the state level by different little buckets and categories. So what I've done is I've created a document that gives you all of the current funds that we've received and or applied for. And up here, I've included some links at the top and the bottom. And I'm going to show you where these links take us. So that link right there will take you to what they call a Tableau site. DPI is gathering information statewide to provide information on all the COVID funds. If you see on the side here, there's public school units that you can click and find Union County. So if you wanted to see this particular graph for just our county, there's summary of allotments by ADM. This is a map. This map, if you hover, I really like Tableau. If you hover over certain counties, you'll see how much has been allotted by year, how much has been spent, what kind of balance you have, what's your per ADM allocation. So you can look at other counties and compare to, you know, what Union County might be receiving. You can see everything. But you can do the same thing up here. If you wanted to just look at Union County, you could pull Union County specific. There's an allotted expenditure. I mean, it really goes into a lot of detail. So I felt like this was a way to give you all a lot of information, and really more than I could provide you on a monthly basis. These documents are updated once a month. The other piece in this file is the part that I am including. So every month, if you click here, it will download a spreadsheet. Okay, so this spreadsheet is probably going to open on the other side. Okay. So this spreadsheet downloads every, you know, they updated every month. It tells you how to use it. But I will be providing you a document like this, and let me do Union County. Oh, scroll down. And just for you all to know, we're public school unit 900. So when you get to the 9s, you'll see some charter schools and others, but we're 900. So Union County schools right here. So when I click that, this document right here is also in your packet today. This shows you.
It's not on the screen.
Oh. Okay, let me share again.
I think it's the same document that we have printed, Kathy.
It is. So can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, so this document is in your packet. This is for Union County, Public School 900, Union County. It gives you all of our expenditures, all the different categories. These are, this top category here, the 121 to 154. These were all the state funds that we received initially. And as you will see, there is no balance. I've got $3 in one of the accounts. So there's really no balance in any of these accounts. We expended all those funds based on the deadlines we were given to expend them. So down here is all of the funds that I share with you all each month. So you can see our original CARES Act money, some of the GEARS fund, ESSER 2, ESSER 3. And you'll see some of these we don't have allocations in because we didn't qualify based on a formula, or, you know, whatever the eligibility criteria was, we didn't qualify for. So when you scroll to the bottom, you'll also see some graphic representation of the expenditures. You'll see, you know, how much by, you know, specific ESSER 1, ESSER 2, ESSER 3 to give you percentages of those categories. The other piece that I put a graph on your sheet is expenditures by object code. So if you wanted to see how much we're spending on salaries or contracts or whatever it might be, it's the same process. You would click, you get down to 900. You're looking for public school unit 900, which would say Union County schools. And it'll give you by year expenditures based on, you know, you see this extended contracts. Those would be summer camp payments when we ran summer school. So you'll see all those expenditures listed out by category. But if you scroll to the very bottom, to me, I like the graphic representation. This graphic representation gives you salaries, benefits, purchase services, which is contracts like our nurses and others. To give you what's been spent in percentage wise. So I just felt like this was a fabulous tool that they've provided to us that I wanted to share with you all. and the public, so that they all know how to access this information and see it, you know, at any point they would like to review it. Do y'all have any questions about any of this?
No, that's awesome. I liked all that information.
It's a lot more than I could provide you on a monthly basis. So again, I just feel like those are some great resources that I wanted to share.
Thank you very much. Does anyone have any more questions? So we're supposed to have a meeting on the 28th of December, but I don't think that's going to happen since it's the holidays. So we'll talk about if we need to have a meeting before the board meeting in the beginning of January or not. So
Yeah, our board meeting in January is January the 11th. So it's a lot later in the month. So if we need to, if we've got some budget.
It's the 11th, okay.
I looked it up. I'm pretty sure it's on the 11th. That's a Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
that will be, just for you all to know, that will be the presentation of our audit. Will be that night as well at that January meeting. But if there are any items that we need you all to approve to be able to implement based on state budget, we will definitely reach out and schedule a meeting as needed to approve those items.
That would be great. I want to, Shauna, thank you and your staff for all the hard work. I know it's been difficult with all the moving parts with ESSER funds and the state budget not coming in until a couple days ago. I appreciate everything you guys have been doing. And I want to tell everyone a happy Thanksgiving to all of our staff and families and students. Everybody have a good break.
Yes,
Yes.
my sentiments exactly.
Yeah, so I need
That
a
includes
motion.
you. That includes you, Dr. Houlihan.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Hope you guys have a safe, relaxing break.
Need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor? Aye.